You want an investment edge, but all you hear is noise, hype, and half-truths. Every signal is solid information, but only if you can see the bigger picture. This is where the Quasar magic happens. Weather, charts, news, all financial signals funneled into a single dashboard. Data alone isn't enough. Quasar Markets turns it into energy, sharp, clear, precise. Optimize with Quasar Markets today. Your edge when investing.
Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. Good morning, BigBeat. How are you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, Howard? We had a pretty good weekend, I think, man, with this crypto rally, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Good, nice little rally. Predictable profit taking now, not anything to worry about. I love it. It looks good. What about you, Steve? What are you looking at today?
You know, with that sell-off, I mean, I think that I made it very clear, right, that I was going to sell it, and I did. And guess what I did? I bought it back, right? You know, one of the things that I was saying earlier, you know, on the weekend was that, you know, look, there's a couple of things that need to happen. And one of the things that need to happen is clarity, right? We've always said clarity, 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 clarity. And so when I said clarity, I needed to see clarity. So guess what? We saw that a little bit over the weekend, right? That Michael Saylor pretty much told you, I'm buying Bitcoin. It never stopped buying Bitcoin. Wow, that was the key for me. I watched and waited. Didn't get a lot of sleep when it came in the afternoon yesterday, all the way to midnight, and then I took profit. That was obvious. When you see that run that fast, that hard, it's stacking sats time, right?
Nice.
And 122.5, 121.7 in that area. I peeled off about 10%. And what I did this morning, Howard, what do you think I did? I put it right back in. I stacked those sats. So, you know, I think that's a lot of it. We've talked about M&A quite a bit, Howard. Guess what happened? I mean, I know you probably got all these ready to go, but I think M&A is another key here. Paramount and UFC, right? That's another one that I thought was very interesting. And there's another piece that I also saw that was very interesting to me was that toy sales in Japan are up a lot. Legos and Pokemon. Well, why is that important? Because that means that the consumer is no longer just interested in investments. They're looking for alternative investments, and they're still having fun, right? So I went to the bookstore yesterday, and my wife pointed out to me, she says, look at that sign. You can only buy 2 packs of Pokemon cards per person per day. They're limiting Pokemon cards, right? Wow, this is something that you and I had back when we were a little younger, when they first came out, right? Charizard, or I don't know these guys. But what it tells me is that people are still have money to spend. They've still got a little cash on the sideline that they still haven't spent, or they've made it the money in the markets and they've taken some off and they're waiting. This is what I'm talking about. So for me, Howard, that tells me a lot that the consumer is not that scared yet as they should be. And I think that's why we're here, right? Is to tell them the economy is not as good as you think it is, right? Don't listen to your politicians. They're not telling the truth. And neither is the Fed. So there is a whole ecosystem here that's happening around it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, they just came back with some consumer data that came out, and it said the consumer spent more last month than they had in a long time. But, you know, it matters who you listen to. A lot of people say that's just, again, front running the tariffs because they're not really in place yet. So people are, you know, they're not being foolish. They're actually saying, you know what, I need to do it. I know it was also tax-free week here in Ohio because my wife took advantage of it. So I do think that plays in also. They take advantage of that. It's a consumer bump. And then those fake holidays that are Circle Day and Walmart Prime Day or Amazon Prime Day and
Eagles Day and Alibaba
and all those, come shop with me days. So, you know, we'll see if where they're at. We do have this week's going to be, you know, it's inflation week, right? CPI Tuesday, PPI Thursday. You looking at one more than the other, or
Yes, PPI, because I think that, well, producers, right, if we know that the person, as you just said, is still spending money, right? Okay, that's CPI, and that's, I guess, front running these tariffs, right? Are the producers still producing at the same level, or are they going, you know what? We'll wait the tariffs out. Okay, great. We're going to get all of our stuff in the warehouses, shove it over to the United States, dump on it, which is the exact opposite of what Trump wanted. But when you look at it from that perspective, are these manufacturers going, okay, I guess I'm going to lose all this manufacturing in the United States? Or are they saying, I guess I'll move my plants to the United States. They're not moving their plants to the United States. They don't have the money to be able to move them to the United States. The dollar to them is a little high, right? So for them to take their, in this case, rupees for India or in Vietnam, dong, you're going to have problems. All of a sudden, yes, we're going to have a mess come November. I think that's what these people that we respect, I guess, in the markets more than others are talking about. Like, hey, November's going to be tough. Are you ready for November? And I think that's why you're seeing gold and Bitcoin and these things as a protection hedge against your portfolio. I've said this a million times. You better be ready for it because it's coming, right? So here it is, and this might be telling you. So you're right. As you asked, inflation, CPI, PPI. I think for me, it's PPI.
Absolutely. As I talked about, a gentleman here in Ohio makes 200,000 drill bits a day. Can't sell them because the steel that he needs to make those is so much higher that now he gets taxed on that, or that tariff, and his drill bits aren't competitive with what we see from overseas. So just keep that in mind. That's a big part of it that, is a problem. So that's where it would show up, like you said, the PPI there. Steve, the other one, I gotta take yours off there for 1 second.
Yeah,
this is the one that just blows me away. What is this?
I mean, don't know. I can't.
This is bribery.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't even. When I saw it, I said, "Wait, what? They're gonna do what?"
I don't understand this. This is not normal. I don't know. This to me, I said this last week, that when you have to have companies kiss the ring, shall we say, and this is kissing the ring, right? The president should not be involved in business decisions and dealings, right? And we've got a president who's actively involved in the business side of things. Instead of helping them, he's hurting them, right? This hurts an average normal person. Now, NVIDIA and AMD employees are not hurting. Okay, let's get this straight. Okay, they're not hurting. In fact, I think Jensen Wong said the other day, half of my employees have more than $25 million in investments. So they've done very well. Okay, so I get that, and maybe, but they built a very cool product that everybody needs and wants, and that's what we do. We innovate. To just give our country extra tariff money, so we're not collecting it from China.
Right? We're tariffing ourselves. Reverse.
We're tariffing ourselves. That
I gotta have some coffee on that.
I mean, you need a shot of something, whiskey or something in the morning for that, because that's absolutely asinine.
Yeah, I can't even believe we're talking about it. It's one of those.
It isn't going to be the company. It's going to be you and me when we need more NVIDIA chips. So we're going to pay that.
I don't get it.
This is getting out of control. And then when they say, "Oh, there's no inflation," well, yeah, you literally just made inflation out of thin air.
Yeah. So and so much everything is dropping in 3 months here today because why? Now there isn't going to be tariffs on the bullion. I mean, to me, this is like market manipulation at the biggest level also.
I mean, I don't have to explain that one. It is market manipulation. It's not if or but. It is market manipulation. And if we find out later that his friends knew about this, this is a problem. This is felonious. Yeah.
But it's crazy. Yeah. So you get that. On the other news, hey, if you were in soybeans, you're happy because now he's telling China they got to buy 4 times the soybeans if they want to do business with them. So
I don't have a problem
that's
with
the
that.
play.
Yeah,
Again, hey, listen, send them to somebody else because they're not good for us. We shouldn't be eating soybeans.
and we make a lot of soybeans, right? But soybeans
I live in soybean capital here in Ohio.
Soybeans isn't just put into foodstuffs, right? I mean, we have a lot of things.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Earnings watch this week. Today, not a huge day. We got Barrick Mining, Franco Nevada, Monday.com pre-open, AM. So got a decent day. We'll see what we get out of it. C3 AI, I guess AI is dead, Steve. I'm sorry. Down 29% after weak revenue guidance.
I'll tell you, look, I had a nice chat with the CEO and the founder of C3 back in February. Sat down and drank some of his whiskey with him in Switzerland and Davos, and began to talk to him about AI and their new product, right? And what they have and what they're doing. I really liked it. I really like what they're doing. They built the back end that you can just plug in right into the system. The problem is that AI is moving faster than the average bear right now, and we know that. I know that firsthand, right? As we're building very fast ourselves. And I've said this. I can't imagine how many times I've said this. It's like the turn of the century, right? With cars, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies. Finally narrowed it down to about 118, and then, of course, over the next 10 years, between 1912 and 1925, got down to about 6 or 7, right? We're seeing the same thing with AI right now. The same thing happened in the .com. It's all the same. I like C3 a lot. I like AI. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be against it too much here, to be honest with you, Howard.
Right.
I like this. I mean, if you pull up a chart, I think you're going to pull up a chart for us if you do that for us. I think you can look at a monthly chart on C3 and start to feel a little bit of where that pressure was, right? That pressure to the there you go, all the way back, right? You're getting a discount on C3 here if you think that this is where it's at. Now, I need to know whether or not there's some more inside problems at 3 than just this, but I don't think so. I think it's a good company, quality people there. I know their sales team is good. I've met almost all of them. I think I still have their cards. But I need to at least see some shakeout, right? This miss here is pretty bad. So, but is AI going away? No. And I'll tell you quite frankly, neither was .com, neither was the internet back in the day. It's just we got to shake some of the players out, and I don't think quality employees. So I don't think I think this might be a really good play pickup at some point.
Nice. They're down about 32% here today. Let's go to the other side. Earlier this morning.
Yeah, very simple. I mean, we talked about Albemarle for how long? And it's one of those that you just have to kind of stick to the game because it's a miner, obviously, and guess what it mines? The very thing that we're having problems getting from overseas. So they're going to do very well. Albemarle is a quality company with quality people, hard workers in a lot of aspects of it because they do have the machines, the old Bucyrus machines, to be able to dig, and lithium is one of the big proponents of
absolutely. This is after CATL was forced to halt production at their key lithium mine in China.
Yeah.
So a nice 30% move here over the last 3 months in Albemarle, as you said. Patience is the key with some of these. Nice move to the upside. On the downside, one of the other miners, Newmont, down about 2% here today.
Not scared. Newmont is one of those companies that they're miners. I can almost tell you there's probably been some profit taking on Newmont mining as well. They've had a nice run on Newmont. And look, we're traders. We're investors. We're traders. We like when there's profit, and taking some profit up is not a bad thing here.
It matches up. They're mostly on the gold side, and gold's taking a hit, so they're taking a hit. So Newmont down about 2% on this gold sell-off. most of the crypto names are up here this morning, not up as much as they were earlier as the pullback there started too, but Coinbase, Robinhood, MSTR, SBET, all of them sort of moving to the upside here today in the green.
There's just too many weak hands, Howard. I mean, I'm gonna turn it over to you for the Bitcoin. Let's get into Bitcoin because I think people are really asking about that and crypto in general. I think last week you said that you expect the altcoin season, right? That it's here now. Are we in altcoin season?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be an extended altcoin season, yes. I mean, you just saw, again, the same companies I just mentioned. Robinhood's building out their whole platform on the Ethereum blockchain using Arbitrum. SBT, Tom Lee, Joseph Lubin, all these guys are building connections to TradFi with BlackRock and through Ondo and all these other things. This is all now coming to fruition. So you are going to see TradFi. So, and there's nothing locked into DeFi yet, like nothing compared to what it is. I mean, you just got to look over here, total DeFi. This is what you care about. And if you look, it was significantly bigger, in December 24. You look at total value locked into all the protocols. Again, you come back here, and that's what's picking up. You've got people that are staking. So the people that are buying the Michael Saylor, well, not Michael Saylor, that's Bitcoin can't be staked. But the Ethereum treasury companies are buying Ethereum and they're staking it. The Solana treasury companies are buying Solana and staking it. And that matters. That's $295 billion in total value locked now.
And Solana, if you look at the 1 month chart, I mean, it was over 200 back in on the 21st of June, and then again made this run here and then selling off. We've had lower tops. Are you concerned about Solana here?
No. I buy the dip. I like it at 176 today.
Okay. Ooh, there you go.
Right off the key 618 fib level. Yeah, your stocks aren't doing well, like you just said, and all of a sudden you just made a 10% jump in crypto in a matter of a weekend. You're going to take profit. If you don't, you just.
We're hearing the C3 AI. We're hearing now reports that the CEO is having health struggles. We wish him the best. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and I've seen analyst calls for $13 on that. So coming down right towards it. It's at 14 now.
Yeah. Remember on this show when we called TKO? Remember when we said TKO is going to be the? All my friends are in TKO. They've been there now for almost 2 years now, right? When they had that breakup, kaboom, kaboom. Yeah. I mean, look at that. It's been a nice little run, and they did very well. Those of you who don't know, it's UFC fighting. Yeah, that's just been a nice look at that thing. It's easy peasy. Yeah.
We are about 10 minutes from the open. Tick is slightly negative, advanced decline up at around 1600 right now. Q set to open slightly up, SPY slightly up, but they've been sliding backwards throughout most of the morning. We'll see what we get at the cash open here. As we've talked about, inflation data will be the talk of the day or the week, so to speak. VIX has pulled back down, although it's up a little bit here in pre-market, but has pulled back down towards that lower levels. It actually gotten as low as 1525 on Friday.
Yeah, I mean,
that was 21 just a couple of days ago.
What do you think about President Trump sending 1,000 National Guard into D.C. clean out the homeless camps?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I'm seeing Giovanni Savano. He's a guy in Europe that watches the. I watch him quite constantly, and I'll make a banner here so everybody knows what I'm talking about here. He's talking about natural gas in Europe, and just so everybody can see here. Paste it here. I'll make it scroll across the bottom because it's such a long post here. There you go. natural gas inventories in the EU is at 71%, and we're not even into we're about midway through these countries like Netherlands and Austria and Spain and France, getting to about 70 to 80%. Probably by September-ish, maybe mid-October, as they start to refill these. This is where it gets nervy, because the country that handles that is Russia and Ukraine. If they turn the spigots off, and that's a lot of reason why this concern for Ukraine and Russia and Putin and Turkey could be a very big thing. Well, why is this a problem? Because it gets cold in Europe during the winter, and this is how they heat their homes. So this could get very, very ugly very fast if Putin doesn't keep the spigots on. So we need to keep our eyes on natural gas in Europe. Why? How does it affect me over here, BigBeat? Well, it affects natural gas prices, first of all, right? Second of all, it does affect your heating, right? It'll also affect trading in those currencies, especially in the euro, and could be because the UK really does depend on international gas, their natural gas. This could be a worldwide domino effect problem here. So we need to keep our eye very tight on this issue here with nat gas.
UNG is down at almost historical lows,
right?
So this would be
a good buy opportunity. That's
like
right. Yeah. Now we gotta be careful with UNG as an ETF, because it does have it does figure every month. So you gotta be very careful about that, right? I will also say a couple of things here. I noticed on NVIDIA, even with NVIDIA and AMD and all these chipset issues, right.
Well, they can sell to China now. They just got to give 15% to Uncle Sam. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just the floodgates kind of open there for that. So that would lead it that way.
All right, we're about 5 minutes here to the open. Yeah, right now Kramer's now talking about C3. I do like C3 on this dip. I might actually play the game here.
Micron, nice move to the upside today, Steve, up 4.84% here today.
Yeah, I mean, chipsets are chipsets. I mean, we may be pivoting on some of these chipsets. I haven't used a Micron chip in a long. That's extra RAM and things like that in your computers. I haven't done that in a while, but hey.
They raised their Q4 revenue forecast to 11.2 billion from 10.7 billion, and they now raised their EPS expectations too, driven by strong demand for their memory chips.
All right. So the bid and the ask.
Mag 7.
Go ahead. Yeah, the bid and the ask right now on C3 is between 15.12 and 15.15. So I am looking at that price right now. Yeah, I the problem is the volume could be a little high here, but I do like this. I do like this here.
A nice little recovery.
Yeah. You're out there watching. I get it. Yeah.
Trying to break across VWAP, but unable to so far.
Yeah, and I'm waiting until the opens. I'm sure spread's a little too far for me, and it's not fast enough. So I really want to see. I really do want to see a little bit more here. So we'll wait it out in the morning shot here.
NVIDIA down about 35 basis points. Apple down 50 basis points. Google down slightly. We see Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Netflix up slightly. Tesla getting a little bit of wind here this morning, up 1.72%.
President Trump says that tariffs are making our country strong and rich. He's now speaking.
This should be good
Oil at 64.19. If you have a strong economy, then why is oil so far down? It's just not happening, right? So, yeah, I'm keeping my eye here back on silver. There's a profit taking on silver also yesterday, as we saw that 37.80 again. So the buyers stepped right back into silver here.
Seeing AAON down 22.67% here.
Goodness. Tom Lee just said that his BMNR, that's his Ethereum treasury company, Howard. He said today he now holds almost $5 billion worth of Ethereum.
Yeah.
Woo.
I told you.
Woo.
Not holding it just to hold it. They're staking it, using it in DeFi, and building out rails for other companies. They want to be the financial. They want to be the infrastructure of the new financial.
Yeah, he owns 1,150,263 Ethereum at $4,311 per. Yeah. Okay. So he thinks it's going to go higher. That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to buy a little bit more here of C3. I think that there could be some buying stepping in right here on the open here.
So you're going to get some before the open?
No. Okay. My orders are moves. Okay, let's talk about that. I have 2 move orders in. What's a move? Cow order. What's that move order? Market on open. So that means my orders become cash orders on the open. Why? Because that makes it faster, right? And I get better feels. So move orders are what I like. You can see it's the jump and the down is really different right now because the bid and the ask is strong. So I'm going to wait until that opens.
10-cent difference right now.
Yeah. I don't want to get screwed here because I got some big orders in. So yeah, there's 15. You know what I'm saying? 15.28 to 15.10 and 15.17. It's that I don't like that. So I'll try to buy some.
Coming down to 3 cents now.
Yeah.
Spread's starting to tighten as we get closer here. We're about a minute out.
There you go.
See what we get on the open. Moving down back towards 15 to start. 15.08 here, 15.10.
15.13, 15.30, 15.20.
We are open. Here we go, everybody.
And I'll need to look at those orders.
Tick is down 150, 160 on the open. The advanced decline is positive 1,400, but that's actually down 200 from the pre-market. Qs are moving to the upside on the pretty flat on the start, 574.81 or so. SPY, they're all sort of just ranging right now. Not real big move there. C3 AI opened at about 15.08, now moving to the downside, 15.02 here. Needs to hold that $15 range.
It did not.
It did not. Well, it did bounce. There it goes.
I think we're okay though. I'm really good with it. I'm long. I'm going to stay. There we go. I'm going to stay long. I think it's just a little bit of nonsense here, but
Tick is flattened out here to neutral again. Advanced decline sitting right about the same level. If I look at the Qs here, we are losing a little bit of steam here on the Qs. Not too much though. 574.75 or so right there. The SPY at 637.42. They both slid a little bit on the open here. Bitcoin at 119,585. So not really. That's a pretty muted open for Bitcoin. So
it's very muted. Yeah.
By that. Ethereum is the one I would expect to see a little profit taking. Someone's listening to Tom Lee sell his bags on CNBC. It goes positive here. Here you go, Steve. C3 could start to pick up on that. I think I have that on the screen, don't I?
All right, Howard, I'm in right at 15. That's why I like that. I like that a lot. That was a move orders, right? Because it could have been at 15.30, could have been at 15.20, and yet I'm in at 15. That's why I did the move orders there for those of you who were asking.
Okay.
1509 there, Howard. 1506. Let's get
Yeah. Up pretty well for you.
1518, 1520, and 25.
There you go. Nice.
That's how it's done. Those of you who are listening and watching in, look at that price. Look at that. Look at that, baby. That was a nice move. Very good move. Another win.
Absolutely. You gotta love
Move on that. Yeah. And that's what's happening right now. I didn't have to play the options. I wasn't trying to get, options are never getting screwed. People are getting screwed in their options because the option market, I think it could go higher, to be honest with you. But, I'm at a 15.19 and at 15. It's a nice move.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to this week, Howard. I will be in New York. Sorry, I've got a lot going on. I'm going to Florida Economics. They've got a big conference today and tomorrow. I'll be leaving here pretty soon and going to that conference. I will also be going to New York. So I'll be on Schwab on Thursday. Hope to see everybody on the Schwab network. Yep. And then I'll also be on Roxon TV. I think you're now on Roxon. I think I've got you on there too as well. I'll be there from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I will be watching. I'm actually doing interviews from the New York Stock Exchange. So
fantastic.
On Thursday, I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Good stuff there. Good stuff there for sure.
Bitcoin is climbing, baby. There we go. I like
that. People listen. 119.7. Ethereum back above 42. Sold back above 180.
Stack those stats.
Yeah. We'll see what we get with this morning across it for sure. Without a doubt. Most of the Mag 7s now turn negative. NVIDIA definitely not liking that tariff news, 1.3 to the downside. Apple getting hit pretty hard here, down about 1.44% there. So Tesla now up 3%, moving to the upside nicely here. Trying to break the midpoint on linear regression. Could be a little bit of a runaway for Tesla. He's looking for a run. It breaks this area right here. It's got a pretty clean shot. 356.
You know what's interesting is JD Vance reached out to him and says he wants him back in the MAGA fold.
That's because he needs his money. He's gonna run next.
He's running for what? He's running for what? I'm not thinking about running for. He's running for president. Yeah. Folks, don't kid yourself. He's running for president.
He's going negative now, down about 3 percentage points. And chips, I guess I'm going to look right now. Although not really. Well, NVIDIA down a percentage weighted component in there. Crypto stocks moving back to the upside nicely here. You got some decent wins. Mara up 4%. Coinbase up 3.9%.
There we go. So taking off. Come on, get back above 120 here.
Right, little run. Yeah, hold above 120 and close above 120 today would be very bullish. Same thing as long as Ethereum holds above 40.50, the key form of resistance. You're looking strong overall.
Let's go.
That's a good start to do it.
There's a nice pickup down there this morning for me with Bitcoin. As I said this morning, I bought back in, and I like this. I like the stacking sats. I have more sats now than ever.
So
I think that's the key to me, right?
That's what the key is for sure. I will say, it's good. People, folks that we know took some profits on some Ethereum on this run like they should, and everything's looking good.
AI,
yeah, 15, you nailed that
here.
Without a doubt. Here you go, Lily.
Oh, yes, I did.
You still moved selling off here, down about a 3 spot.
Just pushing a little bit here, Howard. 4.279. Now, I know that's irregular based on what we've seen, 4.279%. I will tell you something, Howard, that I think is happening. If a person, and I was getting my haircut Saturday because I'm going this weekend to New York. My hairdresser was asking about home prices, what I thought. People are interested. tick now up 39. People are very interested in buying homes, and I think I'll tell you what, if you're in want to look at Florida, get close to time to buy in Florida here. Get these rates down. If we see in September that rates are coming down thanks to the Fed and the move the president's making, which I think are good moves. Politicizing the Fed, I'm not happy about, but getting those rates down. Home prices may go back up here, and if you were looking for buy a home, hey.
So I'm going to take the other side of that because unfortunately I did research because, as you know, I have a mortgage I would like to refinance.
Yeah, you won't be able to refinance.
I have a free one available to see how much that the 30-year mortgage would be moving on 3 25 basis point cuts. It's like nothing. It's negligible. It's negligible. So it might get momentum. It might get like, I don't know, because I still think the same people who can't afford it can't afford it. That's right. The bottom line.
Wait a minute. They're buying Pokemon cards, so
yeah, but that's a lot different than having to come with $150,000.
If C3 AI just exploded the upside, 1558. Damn.
Nice.
And I was very heavy. Yeah, I thought the selling there in C3 was a little overcooked there. So if you listen to me on C3, well done. Yeah. Good morning, Zora.
And Q's SPY moving back to the upside. Hey, Zora. We do see technology, consumer staples, and industrials to the downside. Biggest winner so far today looks to be healthcare. I haven't really examined what's going on in there.
Also another very interesting thing happened over the weekend too. It is football season again, NFL football season, and you got to figure out how is that going to affect the markets right now. And I'll tell you one thing: Paramount is getting serious about some of the things that they're doing. They're making some big moves.
Well, it's big moves across the board, right? We saw ESPN fired the first shot, took the biggest salvo, and took the NFL. How long is it till NBA, NHL? Everybody looks like it's going to have a corporate partner. Yeah, I mean that's it's part of it.
We're seeing
what's interesting is TKO, their board of directors is made up mostly of NFL owners because Kraft and Jones are the major guys behind it.
Real quickly, Howard, Monday.com, MNDY now down 27%.
That was earnings. That's earnings today.
They're really getting smacked here even harder here. They are literally, you'd have to go back, I guess, back to May, I guess, of the year to where they are right now. That's a serious selling for a company that sells, that we think does pretty well. I mean, if you don't know, they take products from other companies and resell it, things that people don't want.
Software as a service, but that's Adobe's getting killed because of today also.
Yeah.
So this has been software as a service is having trouble.
It is. It definitely is. Well, I mean, AI is writing code so fast now. You don't even need, it's crazy. Guess what's up today? Intel. Why? Because he's about to kiss the ring at the White House, right? The CEO there.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it that I think Intel has been, it's just been beaten up. It's still a company and people still buy the chips. They just don't pay up the margin that they pay up for what they do with NVIDIA. So yeah, oil still falling here, 64.14. The economy, folks, is not good. I mean, I think people, I'm looking at the, look at Disney now up about 0.5% here. There you go. Tick down 84. I'm keeping my eye on tick as well. C3 here, 1572 there. Wow.
Buying that dip, like it.
Howard,
They were listening to you. You should have stuck with yourself.
Yeah, I was pretty heavy, so I wanted to make sure that I was.
Listen, hey, a scalp's a scalp, buddy. It's what it is.
1583 now.
To be a swing trade. It was designed to be a scalp. As you know, you get yourself in trouble when you make a scalp into a swing into a long-term hold. We don't want to do those things. You go Solana 181.26. Nice little jump up there. Bitcoin back above 120, Steve. 2261. Watch out here. You could get a breakout back towards the highs. Let's go.
Let's go. Look at that run now on C3, $16 now a share, 16.05 now a share. Congrats to those of you who listened to me this morning. We've hit it again, 16.09 now.
Yeah.
Live on the air. I mean, this stuff isn't hard. You just have to. It's. I call it shampoo trading. For those of you who don't know, I call it shampoo. Why do I call it shampoo? It's rinse and repeat. You just do the thing over and over again, and you have to have steel in your veins. I say this all the time to people. Take the emotion out of the trading. It's fun to get excited and be unhappy when you win and happy when you lose, but take the emotion out of the trading. You saw me do it. I said I was being very specific about how the order I was going to put in. Move order, mark. I explained it. Market on open, because I saw that the differences in the spread. Howard told you that, and I made a very clear decision. And look at it now. Right now, if you got in with me at 15, you're at 16. All day long.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't knock it.
Look at that.
NVIDIA making a strong comeback here. NVIDIA making a strong comeback, Steve. 182.52. So buy the dip is definitely in play. Are you worried here? Is that retail again?
Bitcoin, look at that one. 120,200 now.
Look at SBET Sharplink here. Nice move to the upside. Look at that runaway. That's Joseph Lubin. That's the competition to BMNR. That's the competition. They probably announced, if I have to imagine. Yep, they're going to sell an addition. Oh no, that's 3 days ago. That news. Never mind. They're moving to the upside. Let's see what BMNR is doing. Moving to the upside also. 61.99. Look at that move, Steve.
Okay, so we're hearing reports now the European Union, European leaders will have, and Zelensky will hold a group call with Trump on Wednesday. So we know that the meeting, the big meeting,
on good for the markets.
Friday. Yeah, I think they're going to tell him that, you know what, we're not going to take the deal. So whatever you think.
Big looking to try a little breakout here for you. Big at 81.70, moving to the upside here, about 5% today. Trying to get a little bit of run. Got to be on watch here. You see a break here of that 83.70, 83.80, it looks like. Watch it to the upside. Any break at 83.80 here. I love it. Circle looking good today, too, for a breakout. All the form of the recent IPOs, recent companies. BMNR now up 20%, moving back to the upside here. Mara up 4%. Coinbase now 4.77, 325 here. Breaks this 332. Watch out for a breakout if it breaks 332. So to the zone I'm watching. Nice move by Hut 8 also up today, right off that 200 like a champ. Rumble up 18.34 today, Steve.
Yes, I kind of like that. Wall Street Jesus is now saying BLDE, that there's an unusual buyer in there in the options. BLDE. Look at that.
Blade here. Blade. It's probably Ron. Ron was looking at this one.
Ron, you like a Blade over there, my man?
I believe this is one of the ones he was looking at. This is a small jet. Peter Thomas might have been the person that actually shared this with us.
You know, I like Blade when I'm in New York. It goes to Hamptons easily. This could be a buyout target here.
It already is, I think. I don't want to give you false information, but I thought there was something going on between Joby to buy Blade's passenger.
Joby, that would make a lot of sense.
That was like 6 days ago. Yeah, that was Joby's going to buy their passenger unit. And I saw that the CEO on CNBC, and the reason, or what he pointed out, is that 80-some-odd% of their revenue actually comes from their health services. They do a lot of the transporting of organs that are getting transplanted, and that business they kept. So they kept that business, and they're selling off their less profitable commercial business.
Hey baby, let's go 122. Let's go baby on Bitcoin 120,200. Let's go.
Ethereum about to break 43 again. Here you go. Definitely running to the upside.
123 now, 120,300 now on Bitcoin. Nice catch on if those of you who are listening, nice catch there.
Okay, here I need one.
Strong morning here for Quasar Markets Live, right? I mean, my goodness. Why would you be anywhere else? We're hearing now that U.S. companies are poised for a record 1.1 trillion in buybacks in 2025. I agree with that. When you have nothing else to do with your cash, you don't invest it.
Absolutely.
Unless you're going to buy, glass and gold. I don't even want to talk about it. You got to do something with that money, right? And so buying back your stock, and we're seeing that in a lot of companies right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Record buybacks here. Record buyback.
Yeah,
like you said.
I don't think Michael Saylor's done buying. I mean,
no, he's definitely not done buying. None of them are done. I mean, that's why when you ask me why is it, why is it time or alt season? That's why, because these guys aren't going to stop, and more of them are coming out of the woodwork. And what's more important is, remember, the news the other day that was so bullish, which is the 401k news, none of those buys are going to happen till the end of the year. So it's about positioning yourself before the tsunami of money comes in. That's all I talk about, is get on the right side of it, get your positions. Don't come back when it's 40% higher and say, oh, now I want to buy. Buy it now.
Now up 25% here. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, that's those companies. That's why.
Tom Lee is smiling all the way to the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joseph Lubin from SBET and all the investors that are sticking with it, without a doubt. I mean, it's just all of them. Look at all the different ones. I mean, if I pull up the DeFi protocols, we were in a trade in my crypto room at Prosper, Arrow. In an hour and a half, we took this run from 85 to 105. We didn't even play the edges, and we were out of it in an hour. DeFi is just taken off. Look at things like Aave. Look at that run that's coming in. It's because that's where the money is moving. Uniswap just got bad news from the government. They were one of the companies that are going to have to comply with KYC now, and it's still making a move up because they've shown a willingness to do it. It's these projects you want to watch that are going to make those moves, that they're going to be the next level. Ondo Finance, where do I have it? Over here. Ondo, this is where BlackRock already does their real world asset tokenization on this platform. SEI, it's the only blockchain that's right now can handle the throughput of financial institutions. These things are the things you want to have a spot of now. Don't wait until they take off. Tick is negative about 60. Advanced decline sliding down a little. Steve, is there anything you're seeing on your radar that you like?
I think that the morning is done.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
The way you said it, I'm like, the morning's done. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, right. Look at the selling there that just happened in Bitcoin real fast, right? It touched that line. And then we have a lot of weak points in here in the markets right now, right? We have a lot of people that are very nervous about everything in the markets, and they should be, right? I totally agree that you should be. And the problem is the speed of which things are happening. I'm going to say something probably not everybody's going to like to hear, but it's the truth. We have a lot of people who don't know jack shit about the markets, that are trading the markets, and they're learning at a very fast speed. And I don't like saying those kind of words all the time because it's not. But that's what's going on. And, here is what I'm saying. I'm saying this, that it's time that we stop just chasing. And that's what I feel like we've seen in this world. There's a lot of chasing right now, and FOMO, and I can't wait to get the next meme coin, and you see all these pumpers and things. Let me tell you what's going to happen. And look, I guess I'm old enough to be able to explain this to most people. These pumpers think that they are okay, and they are okay for right now. But when the new administration does come in, and I'm going to tell you, it always happens almost every time. There'll be a cleanup. What happened last time? Biden had to do a cleanup. Last time with some of the things that we kind of went crazy on, there's a cleanup. Just ask Murdoch. Just ask Bernie Madoff what happened to him.
Yeah, you got caught on the wrong side, right?
Right. Just ask FTX. He got away with it for the years until the SEC caught him. Right. And I love it when I see these pumpers and they pump and they pump and they pump and oh, look, we got the best coin. It's got this, it's got that, or whatever. As my friend Mooch said the other day, he's still in jail. He's got 20 years left on his 25 years.
Yeah,
right?
even Trump won't get him out.
Even Trump won't get him out. Do the math. They're going to get caught. And that's why I'm saying learn the markets the way that I don't want to say the adults in it. That's not fair. But to say that people who've seen this over and over and over again. Last night, I posted on my own social media, you're going to see this next pump and dump. Get ready for it. It's going to run. It's going to jump to the highs. Take some profit. Enjoy. I can't tell you how many texts I got. I know you're like me, Howard. You know, your phone blows up when the markets take off.
Yeah.
What do I do? Take some profit off. Go put some money away for your kids. Go on a vacation. Enjoy that. And some powder. When the market comes back down, and it will, because it'll jump up and it'll jump back down because people are chasing and FOMO and everything else. Buy back in. Stack some sets. We did that, right? We did that on steroids this morning. And it worked out. It almost always does because we know which way the market's going. Crypto, it's going up. But there are still going to be scammers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I preface this by going back to history. It's happened since the beginning of time. How many scammers were in tulips?
You know, oh, yeah.
Bulbs everywhere, right? It was crazy back then. Think about it from the perspective of the .com. I mean, Long Island Iced Tea put .com. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. You put, now we have crypto. We're going to start selling crypto, right? The stock goes up. They're out of business, right? Scammers are going to scam and hackers are going to hack. It's just part of what we do, and we have to be vigilant against them. And for the most part, we are. Tick just took off to the top there. Tick down 60. The same thing here, right? Be vigilant. Have those VIX on because they're going to get caught, and they will go to jail. I don't think people understand that. Or it'll cost them a livelihood, right? You'll lose homes, and they're not joking around, right? If you try to scam the average person, you're going to get hurt. I don't care what you are or who you think you are. You're going to get hurt. There's many of us have been in this business 3 decades. There's a reason why we've been in the markets 3 decades, because they're good people trying to do the right thing, helping other people. I remember during COVID, Howard, you and I helped start BigBeat Trading to help people learn about the markets, right?
Yeah.
Because I was very happy during COVID. I was like, oh, I'm going to make a ton of money. This is great. But then I realized it's going to hurt a lot of people and they need to learn, right? So let's teach them. So that's why I built Quasar Markets, right? So that we'll have a place to do that, to educate and to have better data. So as we learn, let's make money off of that, but let's do it diligently, religiously, as I call it, day in and day out. Learn.
Absolutely.
I see people ask me all the time, well, what technical indicator should I have on my? Well, today I have this on my portfolio. This is what I have on my screens for this stock and something different for this stock. Why are they different? Shouldn't they all be the same? Nope, because some of them are more volatile. Some of them are long-term stocks like Walmart. I've got Walmart. I got 200-day moving averages on Walmart. I don't have 200-day moving averages on C3, right? Why? They're different companies doing different things. You need to understand all of them. And there's like 800-900 technical indicators. And if you get in deep into it, there's about 15,000 technical indicators. If you get really deep into it, I teach technical indicators. I'm happy to teach you that, right? And maybe we'll do technical indicators sometime. I'm talking about Elder's Force and things you don't even know about, right? I mean, that most people don't know. I'm happy to help, right? That's what we're doing. But if you're just using 200 moving averages on everything you have, you're not getting it done, right? You're missing out on the bigger picture here. And so that's why I think it's important. And when you saw Bitcoin run to the high there, don't expect people not taking profit because there's other factors involved. Miners are looking to take some profit. They need up their machines, right? They gotta have money, right? And when you see companies like BM&R and you see, that need to continue to accumulate, like Strategy or MicroStrategy, it's a Sailor's company, MSTR, you're going to see that they're not using charts to buy. He doesn't care about your charts. What
Right.
is it? I don't give it about your charts. He's like, I'm just buying because I need to buy it. And that's what I'm saying to you, right? Understand the thesis around that equity that you're trading, right? Charts work very, very well when it comes to silver and oil because they are abiding by those rules, right? But those rules are different than equities. So how is it different? Well, for me, we know where the buy zones are from, and we know where the sell zones are from the oil companies. Oil companies aren't looking at your technical indicators. They know what they have to have in order to make profit. So they're not looking at their technical indicators. Oh, well, this is a good time to buy and sell, right? They don't care. They know what they have to make profit. So that's why I'm saying do this. I have a big meeting at 10 o'clock. Let's bring in our boy Steve Flanagan. I get right to it because I'm about to go to Japan here in a month. So I got to figure out if my boy am I good, because my God, 98.47 here, Mr. Flanagan.
And getting weaker, and probably, I'm looking for continued play. I think dollar yen is showing me the way. I see some weakness in the yen, and I am looking for another test. 147.70 was last week's close. We're above that. The dollar is basing here. We have higher lows, and we're looking at the stochastics models. They're all beginning to turn. Big Mo in momentum is beginning to turn to the upside. And I think that that's going to go along with a surge in our equities and a surge in the crypto space. So dollar yen, Steve, I'm targeting in the 150s, a weaker yen.
Okay, I like that. Hey, that's more. I can't wait to go to Akihabara and buy some more Pokemon cards. All right,
and a little more sake.
Listen, I mean, I love my sushi and sake. I'm in Tokyo. Okay, let's get to that then. We have heard some grumblings in the world, right? And those grumblings seem to be around Europe and Ukraine, where the BRICS are starting to stack up. They're formulating a little tighter. The BRICS are. It's not more, well, we're going to talk to each other and formulate. They're actually getting a little tighter, right? So this is affecting the world a little bit. We're hearing that Europe, as well as Zelensky and Ukraine, are going to have a chat with the president on Wednesday in a phone call. And then, of course, on Friday in Alaska, I don't think Zelensky is going to Alaska, correct? So it's between Putin and Trump. What do you expect out of the volatility, and what do you expect coming next week?
Okay, so I do expect the markets to be quite volatile in anticipation. However, I do think that Europe is going to lay out the plan for the Ukraine, and the Ukraine is pretty firm here on not ceding any territory. But you know what? To the victor goes the spoil. And
well, wait, who's the victor in this?
Well, Russia has got the territory. Ukraine has not been able to reestablish themselves. And you really need to understand the bigger event here. If you go back,
how does a country like Russia, one of the most powerful militaries on the planet, not take Kyiv, not be able to take some of the area, the land that they said that they're going to go after, and he's pulling in North Koreans. I mean, got 75-year-old guys now on the front lines in Russia. What's going on here?
That's a big story, Steve. I mean, the big bear that we've all been told about since we were little kids, right? The big bear of Russia. Guess what? It's a little tiny cub. Okay, they couldn't take Kyiv. They couldn't take. They are occupying two provinces that are majority Russian to begin with.
Donbass, right? So the majority is Donbass, right? Okay, yeah.
That's right. So, and this is an area that, if you go before the war, the Ukraine was, having a lot of conflict in those areas in trying to, some people would say exterminate different people there. So this is not something that just suddenly mushroomed. It had been going on. So I do see Russia occupying that area. And I do think that Ukraine is going to have to take that medicine, because if they don't, you're going to see all the funding stop.
All right, let's. I have to ask then: will there be a deal? Is there going to be a deal?
Yes, there will be a deal. I think that the Europe is going to present the Ukrainian last thing, and I think then Trump is going to come right back with an ultimatum to the Ukraine, and I think that Europe is going to strong arm Ukraine into agreeing. We need peace. There's too many lives around the world being lost. You cannot. The Ukraine has no basis of dictating that they want this land. It's just not going to happen. So I think that a peace deal is going to be yet again another cherry on the financial markets of goodness, and in the sense that I would look for a continuation of these rallies. You may see gold come off. Bitcoin is going to become even more accepted as more and more news keeps coming out that 401ks can get in.
Yeah.
You know, as you were saying just a few moments ago, it's going higher. Be prepared to buy the dips, the big sell-offs that we see. And that would be the same thing in the equity markets. Everybody's talking about the .com. This is so much different than a .com, because this is the roots that technology has hold in the economy everywhere. It's not just a .com that was like the first flash. This now is the partner to the entire internet boom that we've seen.
Yeah, but let's talk about that. I mean, over the weekend, I was reading an article about the United States in general, about how we led in the past. And I kind of understand Trump's thinking behind this, a little old, but I think I understand it, and why he wants to get us back to manufacturing. He's saying that we led in manufacturing in almost every category in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Okay, that 88% of our economy that we consider the booming side of the economy is AI and .com and software, things that are what we call intangibles, things you can't literally hold in our hands. Can't hold a car in your hand, cars, and we used to manufacture that. We were the leaders. Manufacturing of homes, manufacturing of minerals and materials, right? That was us. We don't do that anymore. We're not the leader in that. We lead in intangibles like Hollywood and software, and I mean we are the biggest in the world, and that's what I think he's trying to say. Is that correct? That he wants to get us back to the manufacturing of things that are tangible, correct?
Correct. And anything that is built today from a manufacturing point of view is going to be the latest and greatest in robotic AI technology. Therefore, it will be incredibly efficient. And in efficiency.
Whoa. But Tim Cook said he couldn't do that, right? Tim Cook told the president, you want me to bring manufacturing back to the United States, but I need machines or people that can do that. I need those. I don't have it, Mr. President. He told him that, right?
In Tim Cook's world, I can perhaps understand, but in the nuts and bolts of manufacturing that I think Trump is talking about, I think that you're going to see an incredible efficiency through the United States. Not going to happen tomorrow, but it will happen over the course of the next year or two. Prior to him leaving, it will be a boom in this economy. And
can you give us some sectors then, Steve? I think I'm going to nail you down. What sector are you talking about that we're going to be leading in manufacturing after Trump leaves?
Steve, I think that, automobiles could be something a little bit revolutionary.
Okay.
I do think in the technology space, there's no question that we could be leading. I think in the chip space, this could be a real wild card. I really like the chip space because I think some of this new investment that has been promised, Howard always says, let's see the money coming in. That's right. But if the chip space, if this money pledge does begin to build, and they are building, Taiwan Semiconductors has already got one plant up and running. They're building a second. So this is going to be incredible. This is going to be the latest and greatest of technology being produced here. And that is going to be a big boom.
I like that a lot. Now, how will that affect the currency markets here?
Okay, so again, my thesis, the dollar is going up. Okay, we're at probably the lows right now. If not within 2 to 3%, we could see a little.
We're
bit
at 98.54 on the Dixie. You think we go back above the 100 handle?
I do. I'm really targeting in on the Dixie, the 126. If you look at a dollar chart, you can see a series in a Dixie. You can see a series of higher lows in the technical. Stochastics are just turning up. So now you've got big momentum on the downs coming behind you here. So the recent highs, 126, that's the level. If we get above that, that's going to begin the acceleration process. Steve, as I've talked about, the window to get invested in the United States from a dollar point of view, and the market is so short of US dollars, it's not going lower. It's an expensive trade to fund. 4.5% rates here, 2% rates in Europe. You pay away 2.5% on that if the market doesn't continue to go down, meaning the dollar keeps going down. You're not earning any money on that. So the window of opportunity to get the dollars in is beginning to close, and that chart to me is showing that. If you break the lows and break the chart formation, okay, I'm going to say we could maybe get back down into the low 96 level again. But in my view, the dollar is based. The window to get yourself into the dollars is now. And
so anything under 97, you'd back a truck up and load her up like it's no tomorrow.
Provided there's no war in the world, okay? Because that destabilizes everybody's view.
But you said earlier that you think there's a deal coming up.
That's right.
Okay. All right. To make sure.
So
all right. Well,
my decision would be, yes, I'm looking any move down in the dollar, I want to be buying. Any move down in the U.S. equity markets, I'm looking to buy. How far can we go down? You could easily see a 2 to 5% correction. Let's just go back to a week ago Friday after unemployment when everybody, look at the sharpness of that move. And Steve predicated, that kind of goes in with what you're saying, how fast these markets move. You can correct 5% in a day and reverse it in the next couple of days.
All right, so I'm going to post this for everybody so that everybody understands what he's saying, because Flans is now saying here, if no war, buy the Dixie under 98. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Flanagan, we are so incredibly proud and happy to have Steve Flanagan on part of this show as we move forward at Quasar Markets. Look, there's nobody out there that knows the currency markets better than Flans. I will let you go. I've got a meeting to go to. Hondo, I see you smiling over there. That must have mean you made some money in crypto. You suck, dude. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Talk to you later, BigBeat. Mr. Flanagan, we got some inflation data on track for this week. What are we thinking here? So I guess you've already sort of laid it out. You think that things are going to line up in the right, the stars are starting to align. The boat is turning in the middle of the sea, and you're seeing the ripples.
That's right. You had over the weekend, the PPI for July in China, minus 3.6%, still dropping. Italy's CPI today, 1.7% on a year basis. So in that goal, it's under 2%. So the numbers of inflation around the world, while being somewhat stubborn in areas like the United States, our number in CPI comes out on Tuesday, and I do expect it to yet again, I think this would be the 6th month in a row, where it comes in lower than the expectations. And I believe expectations are around 0.2 to 0.3. So if you get another improvement in the U.S., you're really having a difficult time talking about tariff equal inflation.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I mean, the consumer spending reports that came out already today show the consumer spending, but as Steve and I talked about, I do think a good portion of that was, number one, tax-free weeks or weekends were in a lot of states here, and people trying to front-run these tariffs. I know that was all I heard about here in Ohio, where people were running out to get what I need for the next few months. So,
yeah, that's right. I mean, but Howard, we keep trying to slice and dissect all these numbers. We talked about the numbers back in March that everybody was front running April. And yet, we haven't seen the other side to that argument so much. So,
well, let's be clear, because nothing shipped got
Right.
tariffs unless it shipped after the 9th.
right.
So that's 2 days ago.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's see what. Let's see what
Keep that in mind. It's not a false narrative. The tariffs haven't hit it.
Not a false narrative at all, and it's good analysis on your part. Exactly. But we got RBA tomorrow on Tuesday. They're expected to cut 0.25%. And the UK unemployment. This is the one I'm watching. The UK, as I've been telling you, since the Bank of England lowered their rates 0.25%. First time in history that they did not come to a decision in the first vote, and they had to do a second round of votes because someone held out for a 0.5% cut. So I think that if you see that unemployment number start ticking up, right now everybody's holding on to a hawkish cut by the Bank of England. And I think that that's something we could see sentiment turn quickly. So in the cable, watch the 134.75 level.
Okay.
That's the break point, I believe, 133.75. We're at 134.25 right now.
Yep.
So 133.75 on the downside. So that's a key level. Focusing on the yen keeps moving higher. The Canada, that's basing, and I think if we don't get a deal out of Canada shortly, I'm looking for the dollar Canada to make a surge higher as well. And what is the big currency that I watch? And people would say dollar MEX. Why dollar MEX? Well, sometimes dollar MEX can be the third highest traded currency. It's an 8% currency. So it's where all the big boys park available capital, funds that they're not sure where to go with, especially if you look at the United States and say, I'm negative in the US, which everybody is. You park your money in an 8% currency south of the border. You used to do it in the CAD. CAD has been stable, but it's beginning to show signs like it wants to break higher. But the MEX is also in a basing pattern here. So watch this dollar MEX. We're at about 1863.5. I want to watch like around the 1875 level as a beginning break on the upside in the dollar MEX, which could indicate money coming out of the parking lot and beginning to deploy. We keep wondering, what is behind these moves? Well, money market funds have so much money, trillions of dollars stashed. Right. If you're looking at a Fed rate cut coming up, then money's going to begin to look to move out and back into the equity market. And the MEX could be the early indicator. So watch that one carefully, as a barometer to my thesis that could come out to play here. I do think we are in the early innings of an entire reflation trade in the financial markets, meaning all the asset prices are going to go up. Simple. And that is the way, holding debt levels, because politically it's too difficult to cut spending and cut the deficit. So therefore, they're going to engineer an asset reflation, and prices are just going to go up. Now, that will lead to higher inflation, but that might be next year's story.
Right. And the other part I will point out is that wage inflation is exceeding current inflation, which is another factor we really haven't talked about much, but that is important too. So, if that continues to be the case, then the consumer can be resilient against the face of rising prices.
Right. And, for so many years, we've always talked about wage inflation. It's non-existent. Hallelujah. People are beginning to earn a little bit more money. Well, that's
right. And quite honestly, what's moving it a lot, though, is that, which is nice to see minimum wages getting raised across the states and to levels that people can actually afford to live.
That's
so correct. We definitely love to see that. Needs to continue in that way, but it is. And we love that. Mr. Flanagan, thank you, like always, for all of your insights. We can't wait to see you on Wednesday. At that point, we'll have the CPI in, so we'll be able to gauge whether or not it starts to creep in, or like you said, it really just is sort of a non-factor. So we'll start to see it. You have a great one.
I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks.